Good morning. My name is Jalen Hackett, and today I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrency and how it's taking root in emerging countries. For starters, I'm going to talk about what cryptocurrency is. Cryptocurrency is essentially online money or an online currency which can be transported between country to country, or it can have transactions between country to country, and it holds the same monetary value between different countries. One of the perks of it is it's not controlled by a specific government or a central authority, so not a single country or no one country can control the value of the dollar or the value of the currency. And it's basically controlled by the people who participate in it or who own it, and anybody can own it. One of the main perks of cryptocurrency is it has blockchain, which essentially is like a balance sheet for money, and a balance sheet or a ledger. And basically what that's doing is it's constantly revising and looking over the transactions made between that specific currency. So for example, Dogecoin has its own currency or has its own blockchain, and it is constantly looking over the transactions made between different Dogecoin accounts. Bitcoin has its own blockchain that's constantly going over it. And one of the major perks of that is for, like, say, lower world countries or third world countries that may not have the funds to train accountants or people that are supposed to be going over that stuff. It's done automatically through cryptocurrency, so they don't have to worry about that. One of the main impacts on the global government that it makes is it makes transporting money or money transactions between country to country a lot easier and faster. And on top of that, it makes it safer because you don't have to worry about people trying to rob you or physically harming the delivery between the countries, or any type of any type of physical damage occurring to the money. Granted, yes, you're gonna have to deal with some cybersecurity and threats online, but that's something that's becoming more relevant as time ages and the online world becomes more pertinent to everybody. Another major impact is there's no need for a middleman like a bank or a payment processor. Like I said earlier, how countries don't need to have necessarily bankers or accountants to look over the transactions, since it's automatically done online by the currency itself, or Bitcoin, or whatever cryptocurrency you're using. And that's very useful because 1.7 billion adults don't really have or don't own a bank account. So using cryptocurrency could aid them, since there are, for example, in I'm sorry, I can't remember the country, but there's a country that has 70% of its people that don't have a bank account, but they have access to online, and that's helping them a lot. The effects that it could have on the situation in the world is China is a main producer of the world. It produces and sends its products to countries all over the world, and they're making that slow transition into cryptocurrency, and that's going to be important because if they stop using money as a whole, then the world as a whole are going to have to change to that, since they're one of the main producers for the world, and they're one of the main exporters or suppliers for a lot of the countries around the world. Another example is El Salvador. They're making cryptocurrency or Bitcoin specifically one of its legal tenders, and that was just done in September of this year. And that's essentially important because El Salvador itself, it gets 1/5 of its GDP from remittances, which is essentially money that's mailed in, or basically not deals, but I apologize. Payments that's made to them in forms of goods or services. Like, we might we might clean up some of their land, or help excavate, or help them build some things. And that's basically how we pay them, or how some countries may pay El Salvador in terms of them, or in terms of trading. As a whole, I feel like cryptocurrency is taking over slowly but surely, and I feel like it'll be a lot better because, like I said earlier, it would eliminate a lot of the physical threats to money and money transactions, and then it would hurt some people in terms of accountants in the accounting world, because it would take some of their jobs. However, it would help so many like third world countries that are in need of money or having that struggle with money, since they wouldn't have to worry about some of the maintenance costs in terms of supplying the people, or when they don't have the funds to supply for when they don't have the funds to train the proper people to look over those chopper transactions and things like that.